Hey family, welcome to the Hub. I am really excited. This is actually my first time meeting face to face Pusha Key, Kenna Williams, but I have been her internet bestie for many years, and I've just been able to witness her amazing journey. And a part of that journey is she helps Black folk and all folk get international. Okay. She has this signature trip that she does every Halloween to Dubai, where almost or over 500 people join her every single year. And I am just so blessed to have Pusha Key, Kenna Williams up in the building. What's up, Kenna?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Welcome to the Coach Cash Show, girlfriend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So before we even get started, Kenna, I got to tell you, girlfriend, the reason I look like half garbage, hot garbage is I done got the Rona. Yes. I'm doing all right. Long story short, did a mastermind with only 2 other people. You know, we out here, I've been that crazy person that has my mask on outside, inside, social distancing, don't come too close. I want to elbow, no hugs, that person. And did a mastermind with my husband and 2 other people. And we all tested, right? We all did a little at-home test. I didn't watch one of the people of how they did their at-home tests. And, you know, it all showed negative, but this one person was coughing all weekend, girlfriend. So what this taught me, I'm more mad at the fact that I did not set a boundary, right? And how important it is to set boundaries. You know, in Asian countries, if somebody doesn't feel well, they put a mask on so they don't spread their germs. So I personally should have said, hey, can you put a mask on? Or I myself should have protected myself and been like, okay, I'm going to put a mask on no matter how strange it is, since we all just tested negative. So long story short, I got the Rona, but I guess it's like the baby Rona, the Omicron version. I'm also triple vaccinated, got both Pfizers and the booster. And so right now it feels like a cold. I had a wicked headache maybe 2 days ago, took some headache medicine. It hasn't come back. I had chills the first day, it hasn't come back. So right now I just have a little stuffiness, and otherwise, you know, I'm just hiding from my family, which isn't totally a bad thing. So
yes.
I told them, you know what, you should still go visit because they're both negative. I said, you should still go visit family. You know, I'll be here. My husband's like, you wanna get rid of us? No, not at all, baby. I love you. Mama, it's so long time. So, Kenna, go ahead, girlfriend. Tell us a little bit of how your love story, like tell us a little bit of your love story, like where you've been, and you know, we'll get into where you are now. So what have you been through? What have you been dragged through? Come on, tell the real deal.
The real deal. I have been through so much as far as love life, relationships, romance goes. I was previously married. I was married from 2002 to 2010, which I will call probably the worst experience of my life. I mean, It was an experience, and it was probably the worst experience of my life. I should have left my then husband the first year, but where I'm from, we were taught you stay in there, you stick it out, you stay, which unfortunately, I don't believe in that anymore.
Right.
But it was really, really rough. You know, my ex and I, we should have never got married. I think we were too young. I was excited because he was handsome. He had a 6-pack and he was interested in me. And I'm like, wow, not realizing we had nothing. We had no foundation. So, of course, when we had problems, everything basically just crumbled because I was immature. He was immature. our ways of dealing with things. Okay, we'll just divorce without even realizing when you say that, it's probably going to happen without even doing any work.
Yeah. Oh man, that's tough. So, okay. So the lesson there is don't throw around the word divorce until you at least try to work some things out. I actually have that as a rule in my marriage. Like, listen, buddy, we don't say that word unless you're really leaving, you know? So, okay. So yeah, and that's it. So you really left, right? So, all right. So then what happened after that?
Well, like I said, we were married for about, I will tell you this, we were married for about 7.5 years, but we were separated longer than we were actually married.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there's so many crazy things that happened in this marriage. I went to my high school reunion. I came back home. My husband had moved out. I had no idea he was moving out. So, looking back on it, I can look at it and say the signs were there, but again, how I was raised, it was you stick it out, you stay, not realizing I had basically given up myself for something that wasn't serving me. So
yeah. Wow.
that was that.
That's really tough, right? So then that even creates like abandonment to come home. And even though y'all wasn't getting along, that was your love. And for him to be gone, oh my goodness. Did you end up talking after that? Or was it like, that was the last time you saw him type of thing?
No, we talked after that time. We actually tried to make it work throughout that time period. We went to counseling. I'm laughing now. The first therapist we saw, she basically said, this isn't going to work. We went to another therapist and she didn't want to take us on as a client, but I guess she realized, she saw what we couldn't see. But we had so many issues. We had infidelity issues. There was a baby that was born during our marriage. It was a disaster. And even throughout that disaster, I was still trying to hang on to it, but realizing as a woman, I can't be the only person to try to save this marriage. It has to be a joint effort. You're like, hey, babe, we've got issues. Yes, I recognize we have issues. Yes, I'm not perfect. Yes, you're not perfect either. However, what can we do to resolve our differences? Can we make this work? And, I look back, I even laugh at the things that I did. I would miss work over this man. I would find myself in the shower crying. And now I would say, I'm not missing money for no man anymore. Because, and I look back at it and say, especially now, because I'm older, I say how I have matured from my first marriage. I learned what I don't want anymore, what I won't put up with. And if no one is working to make things better, no, it's not worth it.
So, and at the time you were an engineer, so missing work is a big deal. They was looking for you. Oh my goodness.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. So engineer, making it happen, love life going haywire. Like, how did you balance that, right? Because you have a demanding job and then now all of this is going on. Like, how did you work through the sorrow of this lost marriage? Or was it more like oh, I'm done, and you kept it moving, it was all good?
No, I will tell you this. I became a really good liar. A very good liar. I would come to work. Oh, everything is great. How are you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I would wear my wedding ring, wear my wedding ring at the time, and just like act like everything was fine. My husband at the time, he wasn't even at the house. He was living somewhere else. Yeah. And people would say, how's your husband? Oh, he's fine. I saw him last night. Last night may have been 3 weeks ago or something like that. So I had to put on a facade for as long as I could. And one of my coworkers, I'll never forget him. He came up to me one day. He says, you really don't have to lie. You really don't have to lie about this. He says, I can see all through this. You don't have to do this. Just go through it. You will be fine. Called you out. And it was a man. It was a man that called me out. Yeah.
So what did you do then? Just start crying? What did you do?
No, I just looked at him like, get out of my business. Get out of my business was the initial thing. But he would come by my office and he would just be like this. Because he knew. I think he had been divorced before, so he knew what the signs were. He knew the lying, that you, not that I'm a liar, but you put on a facade for people to basically show this persona that's not you. I was still going by my old last name at the time, and I was still wearing my ring and acting like we were going places, and I was going home. I was going home to drink. Let me be honest. That's what I
Yeah.
was doing. You
Yeah.
know, and it was like, I would get to the point where I would take maybe extra projects at work because I knew I didn't want to go home because I was
Mm,
going home to a problem.
mm,
So I would come home 7, 8 o'clock, knowing I'm going to bed in 2 hours, so I don't even have to deal with them.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy.
So how did you get past that time, that pattern of the drinking and overworking and lying? Like, was there any specific moment that the light bulb turned on to say, all right, this ain't it?
I would say it came from my mother. My mother called me one day and she told me, she says, uh, you are not the Kenna that I know. You're
Mm,
not the person that I know you to be. Basically, who are you? Who are you? Who did you become? You're not, who are you, my daughter? I didn't raise you to be dealing with this. Excuse me. So I think that was a pivotal point for me to say, okay, she's right. Why am I doing this? Why am I suffering for no reason?
yeah.
My ex at the time, he was out living his life, carrying on relationships and what have you. And I'm over here with the ugly cry every day. Like, why? So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then did you start to do new things to create like new patterns, or it was just that simple of a conversation and everything was better?
it was that, and right before that happened, we decided. I don't think we had decided to divorce at that time, but after our last counseling sessions, the last counseling sessions that we did, it actually was at the point where my ex stopped coming. So I think that was another pinnacle point where I said, well, you know what? Insurance is paying for this. Let me just get what I need for myself,
Mm,
which was great. So yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Okay, so now in terms of transition, right? So what came first, your next love or your new business? Which came first?
Oh, probably next level because I've dated. I tell people I have I've dated a lot. I one of those people. After my divorce, I basically hopped right out because I was really done with. I was done with him before before we'd actually filed. So I was done. So I was ready. So once I got out of the marriage, everything was fine. I met someone like 2 months after divorce. We ended up dating for about 2 years.
Wow. Okay, so the question always is, where did you meet? Because like there's this a thing that, the good men are hiding under a rock, so where did you meet that guy?
When I lived in California, he actually was in the military. So he worked on the sister military base, but I met him online.
She met him
Yes.
online, online. Okay. So obviously
Yeah.
that one didn't work out.
Right.
So let's fast forward a bit. So we dated,
Hmm.
met people online, had a good
Yes.
time. So what was it that kept you dating? Because what I find is so many women get frustrated when something doesn't work out, right? Whether it's a 2 week, a
Hmm.
2 year, a 2 month, whatever. And then they're like, you know what? I don't want to date anymore. Just forget it. Like, did you ever have that in your thought pattern? And
Never, never.
what was your mindset through all of this dating?
I was never going to accept defeat. I was never going to make a decision and say, you know what, I'm not finding the man that I want. So I'm just going to become a hermit, stay in my house, focus on my job, become a workaholic, become a whatever, get multiple degrees or do whatever women do when they go through this time where they decide that they don't need anyone. I have a friend of mine, I'm not mentioning her name, but she is someone I love very dearly. And she's divorced, and after her divorce she just straight into her work, and I'm thinking, hey, it's been 5 6 years, I need you to get back out there.
Yeah.
So basically I kept myself motivated to say, you know what, every person that I meet I'm not trying to make this man my husband.
Right.
Let me go out here. Let me have fun. If it turns into something great, if it doesn't, it's still great. I'm still an amazing person, and
Mhm.
someone will see the beauty that is me and appreciate me the way that I need to be appreciated. And I
Mhm.
just said, I'm not accepting defeat. Sure, this guy didn't work. Okay, fine. Sure, this one didn't work. Okay, fine. And I think for me personally, I chronicle pretty much my dating life. I was very open. Um, when things didn't work out, I just said it didn't work out. People are like, well, are you done? Like, no, I'm not done. Keep going. I keep going until I get what I need.
Keep going until you get what you need. Are y'all listening?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Oh, that's good. That's good, good. So tell us the story about the blue ring.
Woo! Yo,
Hey.
as we say here. Well, the blue ring. Probably 10 years or so ago, I saw this blue ring on a cruise ship. And I was like, wow, this ring is, well, I don't know if it was on a cruise ship or like one of the cruise ports. And I just had my eye on this ring forever, had my eye on the ring forever. Looked at the price and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep looking. So just keep looking. So in 2018, I was in Dubai and I decided, let me do something nice for myself. So I went, contacted a jeweler in Dubai, contacted several jewelers in Dubai, and one particular one was like, we can't make the ring exactly the way you want it, but here are the modifications. And I was like, okay, I looked at the modifications. I was like, you can't even tell. So let me get this ring. So I had the ring made. That was October 2018. November 2018, I was back on the internet again. I was on my way to South Africa and I talked to a young man. We clicked instantly. I flew to South Africa because I had a group trip there. And we met. It was a great experience. I thought he was an amazing guy. And I was like, all right, this is it. Let's do it. And the following month, he asked me to marry him. But before then, I knew he was going to ask. And the thing about him, he wanted to give me a ring. He started looking at rings, and I didn't like any of the rings he picked. I was like, no, no, no. So he was like, well, you have a ring that you like. Let me buy it from you and give it back to you. And I was
Wow.
like, no. So he asked me again for the second time. I was like, no. Then he showed me another ring. I said, no. Then the third time he says, let me just buy the ring. So he actually paid for the ring. And when we got engaged, this was 3 years ago,
Mm,
he actually gave me the ring.
mm.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So you were traveling to another country because essentially you were US based. You're traveling to another country with a group and
Yes.
you still got online like, look, love is everywhere, right?
Yes.
So love is
Yes.
not just in my backyard, love is everywhere I go. So you're on
Yes.
the app, you talking to the man, things going well. He buys the ring from you, he proposes. So he
Yes.
proposed, what was the span of time that he proposed in?
Your listeners are going to trip out. I would say it was probably a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, probably a
A
month and a half.
month and a half. You got a ring in a month. Is that a record, y'all? I think that's like a record. A month and a half. Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So, so now y'all were living in two different countries. You went back home to Tennessee? The Tennessee?
California.
California. Okay.
Mhm.
California. All right. So California, you went back home to California. Now you're living in two different countries. So how did that all play out?
Well, it was interesting when he and I when we were together. We had a really good communication. We would talk several times a day. We talk on video. We text, do WhatsApp calls. We had trips planned, so I would fly to South Africa, or he and I would decide, okay, we're going to meet in country X or whatever the case may be, and we did that for a few months until we split.
Decided this wasn't it. So, would you say that dating long distance, you have to have resources?
Yes, you have to have resources to date long distance because number one, depending on how far the distance is. I mean, is it a distance where you can drive? Not so much. But if you need to fly, obviously you need to be able to get back and forth, and then you may need to stay in a hotel if you're not staying with the person, or have means to get around, or whatever the case may be, because it's not. Um, I won't say it's hard, but somebody needs to have resources elsewhere.
Somebody, because I'm like, if y'all meeting in countries. So now, let's dispel some myths, right, Kenna? Because when people think of Africa, any part of Africa, they think of poor people, right? So it's like, for you to find a man that had the means to buy this expensive ring and also fly and meet you in countries, I'm guessing you weren't paying for those tickets. Like, how did that come across for you to find somebody that had money also, right? So
they exist. Like that particular guy, we're still friends to this day. Talked to me last week, wished me Merry Christmas already. And he is an IT professional. He's a consultant. He's doing well. There are plenty of men, even the men that I've dated here. I've dated all types. Doctors, I've dated attorneys. I've been out. Let me say dated. I went out with attorneys, doctors, all different types. Musicians, hustler types, all types. This country is not everybody is struggling or what have you. There are some that are, but there are men out here that they're not. And let me say this, since I feel like this might be the next step. Not everybody is looking to come to the United States. So a lot of people already make the assumption, oh, American ladies, they assume that they're going to come to. I'm like, no. Here I told every man, I live in South Africa. So if you think you're coming to the States, bro, I'm sorry, it's not happening, because this is where I live at this point. So most men, they know.
Yeah.
And
wow.
they're not looking for that.
So do you feel like you put something special in your profile that attracted men with means? Like, this is the question that I get, right, Kenna? Like, Coach Cass, I keep, attracting the broke joker that's looking for a handout. Where do I meet, the hot term is a high value man. I'm like, what is a high value man? Like, come on, like, money doesn't define somebody. But at the end of the day, a lot of these women, right? Engineer, doctor, whatever, you've gotten to a certain place. So you kind of want someone that could pay for dinner sometimes. So do you feel like you put something special in your profile that attracted these men with means, or any of that?
No, the thing is, my profile was very short. A lot of my friends will say, can you look at my profile? I'm like, it's a book. The average man is not reading this. So I would put boom, 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 a few information. Hey, you want to contact me? Whatever, call or whatever, send a message or what have you. Put some funny pictures up there. Always face picture, full body, because I want everybody to know this is what it looked like,
Hey.
that's what it looks like. So there's no surprise. But yes. I didn't say much, and then people will contact me. The thing is, these men exist, all type of men out there. People talk about you mentioned the high value man, and again, what does that mean? That could mean something totally different from other people. I probably, at this stage of my life, I don't necessarily, although I'm engaged now, I don't necessarily need a high value man. I'm seeking happiness, probably more so than anything else. Which ladies hate to hear this at times, because they're like, well, I need a man that can do this. And I'm like, okay, great. I already have all these things. I don't need that. At this point, when I'm sick, who can make me soup? Who can take care of my plants when I'm gone for 9 weeks at a time? Who can, go put gas in my car? Or, who can I trust to, not run off with my credit card when it's on the table? Stuff like that. I mean, it sounds so simple, but I look at, okay, the
things that matter.
Yes, these are things for me. These are things that matter for me. I just look for who makes me happy. I dated this guy last year for a couple of months. One of those high value, high earning men. That man never had time for me because he was so busy chasing money that he never had time for me. I should have known on our first date, because the first date he called me. He was like, I'm sorry, I can't make the date, but let me send you Uber Eats. No, I can get that for myself. I'm trying to spend time with you. I don't need you to send me, chicken. I mean, that'd be great, but that's not what I need.
my goodness. So you said, oh, wait, hold up. Okay. All right. So let's put in there the business piece, right? So engineer who loves to travel. How did engineer who loves to travel become person who just travels? Like, how did that transition happen?
Oh, that transition. I think I knew it was probably eventually going to happen. I got to the point where I had worked at my job for almost 20 years or so. And, frustration, you work for so many years and, you apply for a promotion or a upper level project and you're told, you know what, we like you, but you don't have enough experience. I'm like, how much experience do I need? I've been here all these years. You mean to tell me almost 20 years is not, do I need to be almost at my deathbed before I, become this manager or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm, constantly getting passed over and passed over and passed over. And I was just like, I'm tired of this. And I was already had my travel consulting company on the side, which, I thought it was doing okay for me to say, okay, let me make this leap. Yes, it's a little bit scary, but let me just try it. Let me just do it and see what happens. And I have to shout out my aunt. My aunt Della, she she told me, she says, if you ever need to come back home, you can come home. My parents are deceased, so my aunts and uncles they check out for me. So she's, I always say you have a landing spot if you need to come back. So that's all I really needed.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Just that security, like, all right,
Yes.
I'll never be homeless.
Yes, I can always come back. And I still have my house in California. It's rented out, but if I need to go back, it's available.
It's there. Okay, so a part of it was the epiphany that you will never reach the heights in somebody else's business, right?
Yes.
What you could do in your own. And why not try out what you love? And at the end of the day, you can always go back to engineering, like.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you know this, but right before I left my last position, my mother died in April 2018. And 2 days after she died, my bestie, my coworker, who sat right next to me at work, he died, which was so crazy. So I went back to work roughly about 2 or 3 weeks after that happened. And it was time for my performance evaluation. So during my performance evaluation, I had already asked for 2 months off work because I needed time to grieve and what have you. During my performance evaluation, my boss at the time, she said, you are on task to meet all of the objectives for this year. You're doing everything you need to do. I was like, okay, great. That's where the conversation should have ended. However, she says, I think you need to pursue your real passions in life. And if you decide to leave this job, we understand. And I'm thinking, are you firing me? Are you telling me to quit? I mean, my mother just died 2 weeks ago. Why are you telling me this? And I was so angry for the longest time that as we say, how dare you fix your mouth to say that to me? How dare you do that? You know that like, how dare you put your mouth together to make these words come out?
Yeah.
And I'm already, grieving or whatever. And like I said, for the longest time, I was so upset. I ended up transferring out of that office into another office, like a couple months later after I came back from my 2-month leave. Because she told me, she says, well, I'd asked for the 2 months off work without pay. And she was like, well, if you can take 2 months off work without pay, you're replaceable. And I'm like, what? What? However, looking back, years later, if you will, although that was the ugliest thing to tell someone that's going through a grieving process, it was the most amazing thing. It was something that needed to be said. It needed to be told. It needed to be told to me in a position where I was vulnerable enough to receive it. It hurt. It hurt because I'm like, I've been at this company almost 20 years and you're telling me to quit and that I'm replaceable when I've given you guys all of me for all of these years.
Wow.
But it's what I needed to be told to make the leap, because that's when you realize, for all these years, I used to tell people I have a great job. And I did. I had a great job. I loved what I did. It was fun. But at that moment, I realized these people don't care nothing about me. You hit me at the lowest point. You don't care. This is now a hostile work environment. I don't even want to be here. You know?
So then you transitioned out. Was there any big moment in terms of when you gave your leave? Did you like saute in like typical AKA style? Did you like throw up the ivy?
Well, what I did was actually, um, okay, I'm laughing in my head because like the following week after that happened, I was going to start my 2 months time off work to do my grieving process, if you will. Although grief cannot be scheduled, but I was trying. What I did was the day prior to me leaving, I got a phone call from another department from my company saying, "Hey, um, you want to come work with us?" And I was like, "Yes, but I'm leaving for 2 months. Can you hold the job until I get back?" They says, "Okay, sure, we can do that." So the next day, which was a Wednesday, I was leaving for my 2 months. I went to work. I waited till 4 o'clock because that's when my boss leaves. I typed up this email basically saying, "I'm not coming back to this office. I'll clean it out in 2 months when I get back." And that was it. So that's how I did it. I won't say it was perfect, but that's what I did.
I ain't coming back to work with you, heifer.
Pretty much.
Okay, so then now you launch into your business. So you already had success in your business before you left your job, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so there was still some proving because I'm just thinking about all who are listening. They're like, oh, she left her job. I could leave my job. Wait a second now. She still had a bit of success. There were a couple of trips under her belt. She was starting to play with the money, say, okay, maybe this is something I could do. All right. So now take me to the new love. Take me, how did that happen?
You know what? I'm laughing now. The guy I'm currently engaged. I've been engaged as of tomorrow, 2 weeks. 2 weeks as of tomorrow. We met unofficially, if you will, via Instagram. So that's how we met. But what happened? My barber here in this whole story is funny. The fact that I'm laughing is just so funny. But November 2018 was the year I met my previous fiance. However, the same month, my barber took a picture of my haircut and posted it on his Instagram page. And posted my picture on his Instagram page. And this guy wrote, "Who is that girl? Who is she? Who is she?" And I wrote under that person's thing, "It's me. I'm the girl in the picture." And he instantly sent me a message, DM me, and we chit-chatted. Oh, nice, just pleasantries, nothing special. And that was it. Because I was in South Africa with someone else.
Right.
Which was the person I ended up getting engaged to the following month. So during that time, the guy that was here, he would send me messages occasionally. "How are you doing?" I was like, "I'm good." He's a musician, so he would always say, "You should come to my show." I was like, "No, not coming, but thanks though." So so I ended up splitting up with my fiance at the time, and basically like three or 4 months later. And the guy here that I'm with now, he was like, "I'm so sorry. Hope you'll be fine." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." He was like, "Oh, well, next time you're here in South Africa, let me know. Come to my show." I was like, "Yeah, no, but thanks." So that was like maybe March, April 2019. Later in the year, I contacted him. I sent him a message, say, "Hey, I'm moving to South Africa." He's like, "Oh, great. Come to my show." Okay, great. No, not coming. Um, so it was that. 2020, the Panini, the pandemic, the Panasonic, the Panorama hits us. And here in South Africa, we were locked down on a serious lockdown. We couldn't go anywhere. Everything was closed. You couldn't be in Ubers. Nothing was going on. So everyone was at home bored. And he would call me sometimes, check on me, whatever. And one day he called me on video. And I was like, "What is this man calling me on video?" And I didn't think much of it. June 2020, my computer cable broke, and I called my ex fiance and said, "Hey, I need to go get this cable." He says, "Well, why don't let me take you to this shopping district. You can get it cheaper." And I was like, "Oh, well, I remember the other guy lives in the area. Let me call and see if he would like to meet up." Sure enough, he says, "Yes, let's meet." So I met him for the first time in person, uh, June 1st, 2020, which was basically like 18 months after first talking to him. We never met.
Pause. So your ex-fiance took you to meet your new fiance? Is that what is did I hear that?
You did. We weren't dating at the time. I just met. I just was just there. He had a car. I didn't have a car. So he took me. He showed me where to go, get the cable, and we went, got the cable, and that was that. And the guy was with us, and we chit chat and talk. I was like, "Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you." We took some pictures, and that was it. So, so I know, crazy. So fast forward from there, we ended up meeting again. I think in October, I called him and I said, "Hey, I need to go to Rosebank." And he was like, "Well, I'm going to be in Rosebank today." I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's go." I said, "Well, let's meet for breakfast." And he's like, "Okay, cool." We met for breakfast, and that's when he let me know he liked me. And I was like, "Well, what's your sign?" He tells me his sign, and I said, "Oh no, ooh, no." I said, I don't do this. This is what I don't do. I don't date these people with this sign." And he says, "I'm different." I said, "Well, they're all different. So no, I'm not doing this." And that was the end of the discussion. He'd been friend zone from that moment. Um, Fast forward to my birthday, a couple of months later, I invited him to my birthday party. At like 5 birthday parties last year, and he attended 2 of them. The party he was at, my ex fiance was there. Another guy at the party that liked me was there. I was flirting with some guy in the pool. Uh, I know, terrible,
Yeah,
but
bro.
hey, it is what it is. But my trainer was there, and he was like, "This guy likes you." I was like, whatever. So anyway, that weekend I really, we started talking more, and then next thing I know, we started hanging out, and he would stop by my house, or I'd hang out with him. We'd go out to dinner or whatever, and he just kept telling me, "I just feeling something deep for you. I can't explain this. I can't even stop it. I just don't know what it is. I'm falling for you." I'm just like, whatever, that's probably gas. It's not me, it's just gas, whatever. So, we just continued on. And I remember the first time he told me that he loved me, I was like, "No, you don't, whatever." And he was like, "Okay, you heard me." And then that was it. And me, I'm just like, But I'll tell you what the pivotal point for me was, because I will say this to your listeners, even while this was happening, I was still going out with other men. I was
Yeah.
still going out with other guys. I wasn't just putting all of my rice in one basket. I basically went out with other men. We can hang out on Wednesday, Thursday night. "Okay, Sam, you ready to go?" "Whatever, let's go." Because I
Yeah.
kept it moving, because until somebody's ready to commit, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna keep going out. That's what I did. So April rolled around, and my friend came to visit me from the States, and she met him. This girl has known me for 25 plus years. So she knows me, like knows me. And
Yeah.
she sat down in my house and she says, "Are you crazy?
Mm,
Are you crazy?" She says, "Why?" Because I was really chasing someone else.
yeah.
And she says, "You're chasing this other man that won't even give you a tenth of what you're looking for. Here's
Mm,
somebody that always answers your phone call. Anytime you tell them you need something, they're showing up at your house with it.
mm,
You call them, they pick up the phone every time. They're not, there's no other woman at this
mm,
person's house. They can pick up and go on video any time of the day. They call you every day. They check on you. They take you out. They do this, but you're still over here wasting time with the one that doesn't even know your middle name, you know, or stuff like that." So I was like, okay. So I started looking at him in a different light, and looking at, okay, well, when I was sick, who was calling me when I was in the hospital? Um, when something happened, what was going on? friend of mine died in April. He was standing there, I'm crying, and he's just like, it's okay. Like, you have to look at who was there, who
Yeah.
always answered, who was always there for you. So when people talk about how value men, that's fine. I don't have a problem with a man that has money. But at this stage of my life, I need you to have a lot more things other than just that. That's not enough for me. I'm at the point in my life where I can, everything I want, I already have it. I already have it, but I was missing that somebody to be like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I need right now. I need you to, be this person for me, whatever I can be this for you. So it took me a few months before I was like, all right, let me get myself together. And then next thing I know, I find myself going deeper, 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 and deeper. So yeah, so here we are.
No. Skip to here we are. When did you actually say, all right, this is my man? Or you never actually said, this is my man? Like literally you just got engaged. Like what was that?
No. So I think I stopped my shenanigans in May. I think I stopped playing around. About May, I stopped playing around. Mm-hmm. July, I was finally like, all right, this is him, whatever, left it at that. And we had a series of things that happened for him. He ended up getting sick in August. And I don't know, I think for him, that was the pivotal point for him to say, I want this girl in my life, So some people don't say girl, but I still feel young. So yes, this girl. So at 45, yes, this girl, I'm okay with it. So I knew that it was coming. I just didn't know exactly when, because in November, I talked to his mother lives in another country. So I talked to her. Actually, I talk to her every week. If I don't talk to her once a week, she thinks something's wrong. Wow. So call her at least once a week on the weekends or during the week just to see how she's doing. My husband to be is a very religious man. He's basically the minister of music at church. When he had the pastor meet me, I was like, okay, he's not playing. And he's like, this her, this is her, this is her. And he tells everybody, this is her, this is her. So, and I knew he was going to do. I just didn't know exactly when. So he did on my birthday.
Wait. Slow it down. Engagement story. Come on. How did you get engaged?
Well, what happened was at my birthday, I had a birthday when my birthday was December 9th. So I did not want to have a birthday party. I didn't want to do anything. I told him, let's just hang out at the house. You can cook and I can just eat. You cook, okay? You clean it, whatever. We can just do something at home. He was like, no, you need to do something. You need to have all your friends come out and whatever. Let's do something small at the house. I said, no, because we were going camping the next day. And I was like, if we have a party, the house is going to be messy. I'm leaving the next day. I didn't want to do that. So he was like, why don't you just do dinner? I said, fine. So I booked a private room somewhere for 18 of my closest friends. 18 became more, but that's another story. Hired a decorator to come in and do decorations, pick the menu and all that other kind of stuff. Did that. So the day of my actual birthday, I told people to come at 6:00 for a cocktail hour, 7:00 for dinner. He gets there, I think about 5:30 or so. It was at a hotel. So he gets dressed and comes down because he was like, why don't you wear your gold dress for this event? I said, no, I just want to wear something casual. He's like, no, you should wear that. He says, I'm going to wear my tuxedo. I was like, oh, what? He said, I want to. I said, fine. So he wears his tuxedo and, all his friends are there. And I'm noticing we had a guest list. And I'm like, this person isn't on the guest list. Why are they here? I didn't know they were coming. And they're his friends. So I'm like, this man is up to something. And while we were doing the cocktail hour, my friends were arriving, which my friends know him and, vice versa. And my friends know his friends. We all know each other. So because he's a musician, he came in with his musician friends. They were playing like a birthday song with saxophone, a guitar, and they had balloons. What do you call those things where the confetti goes all over, a confetti gun thing? Yeah, so they had one of those. And they sang a song and I'm like, you know, yay, singing whatever. And then all of a sudden I turn around, he's on the floor. I'm thinking, did you fall over? You know, do we need to call 911? What's, what's going on? Excuse me. So he's on the floor and he's just looking up like this. He's got the box open. And I'm like, what? So like, were you married? I was like, yeah, I don't think I said yes because I was so shocked. So shocked. I just put my hand out and he put the ring on my finger. He put it on the wrong finger. I think he was nervous. So, so we got up and I was really like shocked because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting this maybe like a few months from now, not like right now. So yeah, so all his friends were there. We were so excited. And I mean, yeah, so here we are.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what I'm getting from this story overall is that you never gave up on love.
Never.
And you dated, you know? So yeah, you could have dated some people that definitely were not for you, and you dated some people that were for you that turned out not to be for you, but none of that laid you out. You
Right.
kept pushing, push a key.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. So yes, I think that this episode will help to free some of these ladies. I'm thinking so.
Yes.
How can people find you on social media? Where can they find you?
They can find me. I'm typically on Instagram at just me Kenna, and that's Kenna. So just me, Kenna, Kenna. That's probably the easiest place to find me.
Nice. Okay, so make sure to follow Kenna and join in on all of her trips. She will never, ever let you down because she has not let me down. And I'm just excited that, you know, you took the time to share your story here. So thank you, Kenna, for here on the podcast. And for all of you that are out there, please be safe during this season. Obviously, I'm still recovering and this stuff ain't playing. So please be safe. Please make sure to like and follow all things at Inspire Many. And we do have, what do we have coming up? We have the Love Vision Challenge. So if you go to lovevisionchallenge.com, it's 5 days where we're just getting clear about what it is that you want. It's something about that clarity. Y'all heard it. Kenna got clear. So you got to be clear about what you want in order to get it. All right. The challenge right now is free. So don't miss out. All right. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Bye, guys.